Updates on Sean Kingston and his mother, basically committing fraud. Let's go over the article. Sean Kingston and his mother, Janice Turner, have officially been indicted on charges connected to $1 million in wire fraud, which could see both of them serving up to 20 years in prison. According to Variety, the singer, 34, and his mother, 61, were in court in Miami on Friday, July 19th, making their first appearance since their arrest in late May. They were each charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 5 counts of wire fraud charges. The charges stem from allegations that the two cooked up a plot to acquire high-end jewelry, specialty, and other pricey items by using fraudulent documents. The United States Attorney's Office of Southern District of Florida believes Kingston and Turner purchased over $1 million in property and unjustly enriched themselves by falsely representing that they had executed bank wire or other monetary payment transfers. They were arrested on May 23rd, paid bond, but this is not looking good for them, man. My freedom, like I said, is not worth $1 million. I could give 2 fucks about money versus my freedom, but Sean Kingston has actually been accused of this. I'll never forget, there was a TikTok of this lady who owns this private jet renting service, right? And she also sells private jets, though. And something along the lines of, like, Sean Kingston just didn't end up paying her. Like, he was flexing this jet that he actually bought it, and it's his private jet, and all this, and that they're still going through, like, legal documentation issues with that. It's unfortunate, man. When you reach the top, you definitely want to be able to take that money, because everything that goes up eventually comes down. You're never going to stay at the top forever. So when you reach that top, obviously take some of that money, invest it, be smart with it. That way you can kind of maintain a certain lifestyle. You won't be able to maintain a lifestyle that you had at the peak top unless you just make astronomical amounts of money that even if you spend a lot, you'll still have a lot. You know, we're not talking billionaires and stuff like that. Obviously, you reach the peak of that and you're a billionaire. It's very, very hard to lose $1 billion and become broke. Extremely hard. But, if you make 5, 10 million at your peak, 20 million, whatever the amount is, that can be gone, man. 20 million, when you really look at it, especially if you're living a crazy lifestyle, can go like that in a snap. Because you'll be spending $500,000 a year for this car, $300,000 a year. You'll give your family some money. You'll give this person some money. You'll help out this person. You'll help out that person. That's how Fetty Wap went broke. Fetty Wap was literally talking about how he was just giving people money. And he realized he was spending more than he was making. And we're talking about Fetty Wap in his prime had 3 top 5 hits. Could be. Let me actually check. Fetty Wap's had an insane run. I know he had 2 songs in the top 5, 1,000,000%. No, so he had 3 songs in the top 10. He had Trap Queen, number 2, peaked, which is ridiculous. That should have been number 1. 679 and number 4. And My Way at 7. Literally 3 songs in the top 10, and he was saying he was making astronomical amounts of money. But eventually that slows down. Eventually the hype, unless you can keep it up, will slow down, and he started running into issues with his bank account, and his financial advisor was saying, dude, you're spending way more than you're making now. He was making $100,000 a show, $50,000 a show. Next thing you know, he's making $5,000 a show, $10,000 a show. And that's nothing. That goes in 2 seconds. Especially if you're living a lifestyle of being a celebrity, going out, all this stuff. Keeping up with the Joneses, as they like to say. So, yeah, at that peak, man, you got to definitely, if you're making, you clear whatever, 20 million at your peak, try to at least invest 10 million of that, man. Spend 10 million, have fun with. 10 million is a lot of money to have fun with, man. I know you'll see other people. The problem is people will they'll hang out with other people that have more money than them, and then they'll try to keep up with those people. And, dude, some people are just at a different level, man. If a guy's making 100 million, you're making 10 million. Yeah, you can kind of make it seem like you're on his level by buying certain things, but that guy can spend 10 million and still be good. You spend your 10 million and it's done. You're broke. So that's the difference, man. The percentages. And speaking of percentages, there's a guy on TikTok that did a breakdown of this really, really rich guy in Saudi Arabia, I believe, or somewhere in the Middle East. He paid Justin Bieber $10 million to perform, I believe, at his son's wedding. $10 million. The guy broke down the numbers of how rich this guy is. This guy's worth like $200 billion, right? super rich. I don't even know, maybe 100 billion, whatever, 150 billion, somewhere in the hundreds of billions. That 10 million for him was like if somebody makes 200,000 a year was like spending $1.40. That's insane. So like put it in our average terms, right? The average person in America makes about what, $45,000 a year. For him, that 10 million was like spending, an average person was like spending $1.34. That's insane. But that's what I mean. There's levels to this shit. So if you're in the $10 million place and then you see a guy $100 million spending, you can't spend that same amount because you're not at that level yet. Now, 10 million is a lot, man. Most people in their 99% of people on planet Earth will never make $10 million in their life, period. So it's not like you're not in the 1% and you're not, doing something special. It's just there's levels to this shit. What did Meek Mill say? Levels to the shit. Levels to the shit. Which I love that song. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, that's usually how these artists get up in these situations. They then try to do fraud like Mr. Poopy Butthole, aka Lil Reese, and steal money from their fans, or they try to fraud, scam other people, or to try to keep up their lifestyle, and they fuck it off, and then next thing you know, they're not doing anything with their lives. So that's all it is. Maintain what you can afford, and that's it. Don't try to go really above what you can't afford. And I've gone sometimes really above what I can't afford. I'm going to be honest with you. This Audi R8, it's an amazing car, but it is a little bit higher than what I would like to have bought a car for. I would have waited a couple of years because they just announced that, hey, it's the last year they're making these cars. It's my dream car. So I just kind of said, I have to pull the trigger on this. It just is what it is. I have to suck it up for this moment. But I would have never gotten an Audi R8 right now. I probably would have waited another 4 to 5 years. That's when it would have been like, okay, I'm good now. I feel comfortable getting this car. It's a little bit early for me. I would have waited a little bit longer, but hey, push comes to shove. It's my dream car, so I forced the situation. But yeah, sometimes you have moments like that where you have to force things, but it just makes you work harder, makes you do more. So I just got to work harder to get, that kind of car and make it easy on me so I don't have to worry about much. But yeah, that's the situation. We'll keep our eyes posted on Sean Kingston and his mother and what happens to them.